Talking about glycosylation, we have seen in our previous discussion that proteins destined to endoplasmic reticulum are co-translationally imported. Therefore, N-linked oligosaccharides are almost always added during protein synthesis. Less frequently, however, oligosaccharides are linked to the hydroxyl group on the side chain of a serine, threonine or hydroxylysine amino acid. O-linked glycosylation occurs in the Golgi apparatus. Now, the protein will undergo processing and trimming, which continues to the Golgi. The endoplasmic reticulum is also involved in lipid synthesis, particularly the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Actually, most of these lipids are extremely hydrophobic, so most of them are synthesized in association with already existing cellular membranes rather than in the cytosol where there is an aqueous environment. This is particularly true for the eukaryotes. After being synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum, they are transported to their ultimate destination either in the vesicle or by carrier proteins. Also, when we studied plasma membrane, we discussed that plasma membrane of eukaryotic cells are composed of three types of lipids: phospholipids, glycolipids, and cholesterol. Phospholipids are generally derived from glycerol. They are synthesized on the cytosolic side of the endoplasmic reticulum membrane from the water-soluble cytosolic precursors. First of all, with the help of membrane-bound enzyme, the fatty acids are transferred from coenzyme A carriers to glycerol 3-phosphate. Now, the phospholipid or phosphatidic acid is produced. It is inserted into the membrane. The enzymes on the cytosolic face of the endoplasmic reticulum catalyze the addition of different polar head groups. And finally, phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylethanolamine, and phosphatidylinositol is produced. So, what is the utility of synthesis of these phospholipids? Well, this allows the hydrophobic fatty acid chains to remain buried in the membrane while membrane-bound enzymes catalyze their reaction with water-soluble precursors in the cytosol. But in this way, phospholipids are added only to the cytosolic half of the endoplasmic reticulum. Don't you think it can put a question mark to the stability of the membranes? So some of this newly synthesized polypeptides should transfer to the other half of the endoplasmic reticulum bilayer. But because of the polar head groups, they cannot pass spontaneously across the membrane. Instead, membrane proteins called flippase catalyze the rapid translocation of phospholipids across the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. This enables growth of both halves of the bilayer. Cholesterol and ceramide is also synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum. Some proteins are anchored in the plasma membrane by glycolipids instead of membrane-spanning regions of the polypeptide chain. Because this membrane anchoring glycolipids contain phosphatidylinositol, they are called glycosyl phosphatidylinositol or GPI anchors. Here is the picture. These GPI anchors are assembled in the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. Immediately after completion of protein synthesis, they are added to the carboxy terminus of some proteins anchored in the membrane by a C-terminal membrane-spanning region. Now, what is the utility of addition of GPI anchors? Because of covalently linked GPI anchor, the protein remains membrane bound with all of its amino acids exposed initially on the luminal side of the endoplasmic reticulum and eventually to the cell exterior. So, cholesterol and ceramide is also synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum. The conversion of ceramide to glycolipids and sphingomyelin, the only membrane phospholipid which is not derived from glycerol, however, takes place in the Golgi apparatus. So what can we conclude from this? We conclude therefore that endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for synthesis of either the final products or the precursors of all major lipids of eukaryotic membrane. And endoplasmic reticulum is abundant in cell types that are particularly active in lipid metabolism. We know the reason now. Endoplasmic reticulum are also abundant in the testes and ovary and liver. In the testes and ovary, they are involved in steroid hormone synthesis, and in the liver, they are involved in drug detoxification. Therefore, endoplasmic reticulum is engaged in various aspects of metabolism of lipid and lipid-soluble compounds.